Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we've got a game sent in by the fan on the left. It's new Isabelle, which is the new Isabel, versus full Bronto Proxy. And so he goes first, right, Monoculous Tiger. I go second, riding Mighty Bolt Dragoon. Finding the full Bronto, which is really nice, setting up for our turn 3 already. And Quick Shield discarded, very standard play. All set, Mighty Bolt Dragoon attacks, no trigger. He writes Matilda here. Matilda attacks for 9. And it's a 15 for no pass here. Oh, thinking of throwing a 20k shield. 20k is thrown. That shows you don't have a 15k shield in hand already, so that reveals a lot. Riding the Cho and just attacking for 9 because Narukami turn 2s are pretty weak. He throws a 20k shield for no pass, so both players are trying to keep their damage count low. He writes Theo, Isabel, Soul Blast 1, milling a normal unit plus 15,000 power. So the good thing about going second against the Great Nature player is that his double gacha effect isn't going to go off, that's the only saving grace, going second against them. He calls the Grade 1 version of Bino tier. So that is called Ringtail. So he attacks with the Ringtail first. I'm throwing the Rising Phoenix there. And he checks into 2 blanks. So he has already milled a normal unit and revealed 2 more normal units. So the odds of him checking into a defensive damage trigger is, at this point, considerably higher. So we ride into OG Vank here, riding the Mighty Bolt Dragoon. And we revealed the Jaggy Shot Dragoon. So very, very nice. Pretty much we've got pretty much everything we needed. We've got Jaggy Shot Dragoon, we've got our full Bronto, we are ready to pop off this turn. So fast forward, I think this is our lineup heading into our battle phase. We're thinking Dragonic Vanquisher, Counter Blast 1, because we still have a Rising Phoenix in drop zone. And with the new Dragonic Vanquisher deck, I guess it doesn't really use that much Counter Blast, so yeah, you don't really need to hold back. Rising Phoenix is called, making a 24,000 power column. Actually, I could extend and make more attacks by calling the Rising Phoenix over with Rock Climb Dragoon, but I fear him checking into 2 defensive triggers. So I check into a blank and we're right. As per predictions, he does check into a defensive trigger straight away. So another one would essentially shut down our turn immediately. So Jaggy Shot attacks for 12. But we're going to Superior Ride full Bronto here. So full Bronto is bound. And no front row, Jaggy Shot draws 1. Full Bronto, when bound, discard a card from hand and Superior Ride it. And it gets drive -1 until the end of turn. So full Bronto, when placed on Vanguard Circle, front row plus 10,000 power. So making our Jaggy Shot Dragoon now hitting through the defensive trigger, which is very, very nice. So that's a 5k guard. So Jaggy Shot, the God card, in soul draw after battle, if my Vanguard is a Vanquisher in name. So we attack with Rock Climb Dragoon here for 24,000 power. So Rock Climb Dragoon is essentially just a better version of Zuitan for the Dragonic Vanquisher deck, because it refunds herself after she attacks, and she has a second skill where you can bind a card from your hand to bind one of your opponent's front row rear guards. So I actually bound the Chain Bolt Dragoon to call it just a greed play, hoping my Vanguard drive checks a trigger, but he checks into a second defensive trigger. So fortunately for us, our Rising Phoenix column is still able to hit through the second defensive trigger, as this is a 34,000 power column against his 32,000 powered Vanguard. So it paid off in the end, and end turn, where we right back into the old Vanquisher in preparations for our next turn. The GM player rides into new Isabel, looking at the top 3 cards of the deck, stacking it, rearranging it, so giving, well, it's basically an OTTS skill, kind of rigging the gacha system, making it much more consistent. Well, you can now stack all your normal units, you know, draw into them, and then drive check into the critical triggers or heals, etc. So it allows for much more complicated plays, essentially making GN just really fun, and not just a gacha-based deck archetype. So he's taking a look at his hand again. As we can see, he has Isabel in hand. So he calls the Isabel, Soul Blast 1. So this will be the card that he wants to add into his hand. He reveals the Dr. Wombat, and since my Vanguard is grade 3, he gets both effect of getting the 15,000 power and adding the milk unit back into hand. So Dr. Wombat is called. Nope. Another copy of Isabel is called, so Blast 1. So he's adding another normal unit into hand. So the odds of the last card revealed in top deck being a trigger is high. So he's copying his Vanguard skill, Isabel, copying herself to look at the top 3 cards again. So he has now essentially looked at the top 5 cards of his deck. So Isabel's effect, Counter Blast 1, copy one of your on units with on-place auto ability, and if the enemy's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, your front row gets plus 10,000 power, so effectively a front trigger. Something like Vanquisher, but Vanquisher is continuous. So he attacks for 29,000 power here. He checks into a heal trigger, which is, he already knows it's coming since he saw the top 3 cards. Critical trigger get, so that's a double trigger. And both power given 1 each to the Bino Tigers, and I check into a defensive draw trigger here, making my Vanguard a 22k base. So attacking with Bino Tiger here, so milling 1, milling the critical trigger, he's going to draw 1 and get 5,000 power to 3 units in the front row and retire 1 of my rear guards. So he gives it to both Isabel's and the other Binoculars Tiger, so he's hitting for 29,000 power here, 10,000 shield, making me 32 base. The other Bino Tiger uses skill, Counter Blast 1, milling another critical trigger, drawing another card. So unfortunately for him, he didn't mill a normal unit. He's unable to return retire the Dr. Wombat and retire the normal unit to hand. So calling the Dr. Wombat might have backfired here. So he's hitting for 14, 24, 34, 44, if I'm not mistaken. Because that's 2 binos on him. So I take it, Chatura, no defensive trigger. This is hitting for 17, 27, 37, 47. So 30k shield. This is a 52k. So immediate Kanzen, I do not want to be at 5 damage, because if I somehow did not finish him in my following turn here, yeah, it's gonna be hell. So we ride into another normal Dragonic Vanquisher during our right phase, opening up another Excel circle. So this is crazy. We have already potential 6 attacks on board if we do call down everything. Rising Phoenix is called over by a Jagged Shot Dragoon. Rock Climb Dragoon is called. Sorry for the glare, you can't really see the card. And we currently have 2 Rising Phoenixes in the drop zone, ready to extend the attacks during battle phase. So Cho is called. Cho's Counter Blast is used on the first Binoculars Tiger there. So he still has 3 front row rear guards that we need to get rid of before we can do the Cho restand. So essentially, we have a total of 8 more attacks. I mean, we have a total of 8 attacks this turn. Because 2 Phoenixes, and if we fill up our front row rear guard, so Jagged Shot on XL Circle. So no diff, we caught another Jagged Shot, and full Bronto is called. So only 1 bind this turn. Our front row still has no power yet. activating full Vanquisher skill, counter plus 1. We're binding his Bino Tiger and we'll bind 1 card from our hand. So he binds a card from his hand as well. So 3 binds, front row plus 10,000 power, continuous. We're thinking our attack plan here because this is pretty much our final turn. Our opponent is at 6 hand and he's only at 2 damage. So he has 3 chances of opening defensive triggers, and if he does open 2 defensive triggers, that means there'll be a total shutdown on our side. That's pretty much GG for us. So everything is at commanding a 15k guard now. So this is a 22k attack. And unfortunately, he checks in the defensive trigger immediately. So at this point, I'm just really afraid that we can't finish him because one more defensive trigger makes him 32k base, and at that point, we won't be able to hit through it. So attack with Cho here, which is kind of a misplay because at this point, I thought I can't get rid of his double front row, so I thought I can't restand, but actually I still have 3 more binders on field. So I should have swung with my Vanguard first and then place all potential triggers onto Cho, because Cho can still restand after I superior right into full Bronto. So we did indeed check into a critical trigger, which is kind of unfortunate that we already attacked with Cho first. So him being at 4 hand, placing all effects onto the Jaggy Shot Dragoon, we only reveal 1 trigger. So Jaggy Shot Dragoon is currently at 37,000 power, double critical. So that was our 3rd attack of the turn. And at this point, I kind of realized that I shouldn't have swung with Cho first, so it was too late. So we attacked with Rock Climb Dragoon here, 24,000 power against his Vanguard. This is a 5k guard. Fortunately, no damage trigger. So retires herself, and full Bronto is called. So full Bronto is bound from hand, so we bind one of his front rear guards. Both Phoenixes are activated. We resolve the Phoenix first, so Phoenixes are called, and then we finally resolve full Bronto. So full Bronto, discard 1, superior right at stand on Vanguard Circle. Gain an XL 2 marker and draw 1. Front row gets plus 10,000 power. So the Phoenixes are resolved first so that we can give it plus 10,000 power as well. Well, still no power change to the Jaggy Shot Dragoons. So at this point, we should swing with the Jaggy Shot Dragoon with the double critical first. So 37,000 power to Vanguard. With double critical, he's gonna need to guard this one. Binding a Phoenix from hand to draw 1 because he has no front rear guards. Jaggy Shot back into Soul. Jaggy Shot the God card himself. I just don't know any card better than Jaggy Shot in Narukami Vanquisher. It's just so good. So we're attacking for Phoenix for 26,000 power here. It's going to be a 5k guard. Nope, no damage trigger. So 3 more attacks with 3 more hand cards. He's going to be able to guard everything here. 22,000 power against his Vanguard. He throws 1. Pass, we check into Chatura and we swing. Chatura is bound. Superior Court, and that's GG. So I'm not sure if you guys counted how many attacks there was. There's gonna be actually 1 more attack if Cho was still on board. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.